E aí, pessoal, bienvenue a L'Ami Étranger. É isso, vocês sabiam que tem um jornalista nova-iorquino que se chama Seth, que escreve sobre viagens para o New York Times, que tem 40 e algo anos e que fala fluentemente o francês, e não sou eu, é o Seth Sherwood. Seth, baixa o livro sobre Paris, eu sei que você é muito intelectual, ele é muito intelectual. Ele mora em Paris, mas está visitando Nova York. Somos muito parecidos, só tem duas coisas de diferença. Ele fala francês e escreve muito sobre França. Eu falo português e escrevo muito sobre o Brasil, é a primeira coisa. E a segunda coisa é que eu sou muito mais bonito do que ele, mas eu não vou falar isso devagar, talvez ele entenda. Me conta um pouco de você.
Não falo bem português.
Que bom, né? Que bom, pessoal. Na verdade, vocês sabem que eu coloco legendas em inglês, aí eu vou mudar o que eu falei para ele nunca saber o que eu falei dele, tá? Just making a joke at your expense.
As usual.
So I see you're reading a book about Paris.
I am indeed, the self-titled autobiography of a city.
Ah, very nice. You can put the book away. I think we'll just talk here for a little while. So I invited you to join us because I'm always talking about cultural mistakes that Brazilians might make in New York. And you live in Paris. You've lived there for
13 years.
13 years. I'm going to ask you what cultural mistakes tourists in general make. E o que eu vou fazer, pessoal, é que quando ele me fala algo em geral, eu vou analisar para ver se aplica aos brasileiros. But before we start, how did we meet?
How did we meet?
That's a good question.
Through the New York Times?
Could it be that an email meant for me went to you and then we knew of each other's existence?
Or someone came up to me and said, I love that article you wrote about São Paulo.
Isso sempre estava acontecendo, pessoal. A gente tem os mesmos editores, então você sabe, você começa a colocar o nome de alguém no e-mail, sai e completa o nome. Então eu recebi muitos e-mails dele e ele de mim, e também pessoas chegam a gente e falam, adorei a matéria que você fez sobre Paris. No, that was not me. And then at some point we met. You know, we have a saying on our channel that when you are doing something wrong culturally, when you're visiting another country, you are a puta babaca, which means like a freaking idiot, asshole. Is there a phrase in French that we would just call someone who's just completely being ridiculous?
Oh, putain de connard. Yeah.
Oh, putain.
Putain de connard.
Putain de connard. Wow, that's actually quite similar because putain and puta obviously has, I believe, the same root. Vamos ver, pessoal, como não ser um putain do connard em Paris.
Travelers, particularly from America, tend to be really, really loud. They speak loudly. They speak as if they're trying to talk into a faulty intercom, or they're at a school play and they're claiming to reach the people in the back row, when obviously no one really cares what they're saying. Oh, honey, look, there's a cheeseburger on the menu, and it's called La Cheeseburger.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Então os brasileiros falam bem altos, mais altos que os europeus. Eu acho que também podem ser culpados disso, mas o americano é o pior em falar muito, muito alto, especialmente para fazer a pessoa entender. A gente acha que se a gente fala mais alto, a pessoa vai entender o inglês.
When you meet someone for the first time, whether you're walking into a shop, whether you're approaching a police officer, whether you're talking to the hotel concierge, you have to say bonjour or bonsoir. You can't just start talking to them without any kind of politeness and introduction.
Yes, I'm laughing because I knew this when I studied in France many years ago. And I went back a few years ago. There were some students, there was some young adults, 20-somethings, strumming the guitar on like a little piece of grass in Toulouse. And I thought they were really good, and I wanted to talk to them. So I thought I was just being slick, and I just kind of walked over and said, wow, I love that song. What's the name of it? And the guy says to me, bonjour.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Realmente pensei que o título da música era Bonjour, mas obviamente ele estava me criticando implicitamente por não ter falado Bonjour. But let me tell you something, Seth. When I started doing this, you know Parisians have a reputation for being rude.
Sadly.
When I started doing this, people were much less rude.
Oh yeah, it opens a lot of doors. You seem much less like a stranger, like a foreigner, I should say. Paris is the fashion capital of the universe. Don't show up.
This sofa is the fashion capital of the universe.
After this couch is the fashion capital of the universe. Don't show up wearing clothes like you're going to a tailgate or a picnic. If you want to do that, book your trip for Ann Arbor. Tallahassee is quite nice. But in Paris, you have to wear real clothes. You cannot wear Crocs. Crocs are not shoes.
Porque ele está descrevendo o americano típico, sem noção, puta babaca, que vai para Paris, né? Mas algumas dessas coisas aplicam para brasileiros também. Eu sempre estou dizendo que eu reconheço brasileiros nas ruas de Nova York pelos tênis de academia.
Punctuality is for suckers. If someone invites you to a party and it says 9 o'clock on the invitation, show up at 10. Show up at 11. Don't show up and say you went to a better party. The worst thing to do is to show up at 9 because you look sad and desperate and alone.
Vocês não precisam dessa dica, né? Essa dica é para americanos.
Parisians are not spontaneous. You can't just show up at their house, ring the doorbell and say, hey, I was in the neighborhood, I thought I'd pop in. They might be having an affair, they might be doing something else. You want to give them time to prepare. Make your plans at least a week in advance to see someone, otherwise it's not going to happen.
Então, pessoal, eu acho que isso aplica aos brasileiros. Isso parece até mais extremo do que aqui em Nova York, né? Porque aqui também a gente normalmente não aparece na casa do amigo. A gente faz, mas a gente faz planos até o dia antes, ou mesmo de manhã, quando a gente quer fazer algo essa noite. So before we go, do you have maybe 3 tips, things they could do in Paris that they wouldn't find in like the big tour guides?
Yeah, absolutely. One place I love to hang out is the Paris Mosque. Not for worshiping purposes, but because they have an amazing outdoor patio and tea room. They have a fantastic restaurant. They have a hammam. It's actually like a full-service entertainment center in a beautiful Moroccan building taken piece by piece from Fez.
Is it true that you can only go certain days if you're a man, certain days if you're a woman to the hammam?
Either that or the male and female areas are separated.
Romantic time, not so good, unless you're gay.
For eating, for a special occasion, I like to book at a restaurant called Derrière.
Derrière, which is to me, in English, we use that word to mean bunda.
Exactly.
Is that what it implies in French as well?
It can. Yes, it's also a double entendre, to use another French expression.
Okay.
It's a very stylish restaurant where you have an excellent menu of modern French food, as well as ping pong and pinball games. And then upstairs, there's a secret room hidden behind a wardrobe. If you open the door to the wardrobe, you're suddenly in this secret lounge, and it's just kind of a fun, unexpected place to hang out. It's a mixture of fun and food.
Third thing.
Here in America, we tend to drink champagne only for New Year's Eve or for our birthday. In Paris, it's an everyday drink. Order it wherever you go. It's not expensive. It's fantastic. Every day is a celebration with champagne.
Ok, espero que tenham gostado do vídeo. Eu sei que muitos brasileiros vão para Paris e muitos mais querem ir. É muito interessante saber as diferenças entre culturas entre França, Estados Unidos e o Brasil. E quero agradecer Seth Sherwood. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Do you have a social media that if they're English speaking, do you post on Twitter, if anything?
No.
You're a private person.
Keep reading the New York Times.
É só procurar o nome dele, colocar o nome inteiro, né? Seth Sherwood e não Seth Kugel, e vai encontrar muitas matérias. Imagino que algumas traduzidas em português. E agora sua aula de Nova Yorkês. Vocês achavam que ia fazer uma aula de parisês? Eu pedi para o Seth fazer uma lista de palavras e frases que usam em francês que podem usar aqui em Nova York porque todo mundo entende. Give me some words that we use in English that are French.
Perhaps you've heard of a phenomenon called the ménage à trois.
Vocês falam isso, homenagem, né?
In fact, in America, we use this phrase to mean a threesome.
Ok.
In French, it means just a household with 3 people.
Então, se você pediu homenagem em Paris, não que vocês vão pedir isso, vocês podem ser convidados a uma casa onde moram 3 pessoas. But is it 3 people in an unusual living arrangement?
Precisely.
Então, é uma relação poliamorosa, podemos dizer.
Potentially, but not necessarily. If you want what we call a ménage à trois in English, you have to ask for a partouze. RSVP. Répondez, s'il vous plaît.
Eu acho que vocês usam isso também, né? RSVP. Responde, por favor, right?
Exactly. In English, we use it as a verb. Did you RSVP? Yes, I RSVP'd.
So how do you use it in French?
You say répondez, s'il vous plaît, and there's no verb.
So they don't discuss it, they don't say, it's just a thing on the invitation.
Right. Well, the classic c'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
That's life. C'est la vie. Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi. Oui, a gente fala isso muito, né? Je ne sais quoi.
An indescribable quality that something possesses. Oh yes, this food has a certain je ne sais quoi. It evokes something that I can't describe.
Eu não consigo descrever o que faz que a comida seja tão boa. Tem um je ne sais quoi.
Nom de guerre?
Nom de guerre.
Nom de guerre.
Nome de guerra. Vocês têm? Eu não sei se vocês têm isso. Eu acho que essa expressão existe, mas isso é mais literário.
It's just a nickname, effectively. I mean, obviously it comes from war when people would go by an alias, so they wouldn't be detected on radio signals and things like that.
Seth, thank you very much, sir.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Hope to see you in Paris. Hope to see you in Paris. Eu posso falar isso em português. Espero ver vocês em Paris.
Properly attired.